This is the Bellator 256 full card betting preview and parlays to play. We're going to go over some of the best bets I feel you can make on this card, as well as the best parlays. There's definitely some lock picks of the night, some mismatches. Obviously, on the undercard, Bellator does it a lot. Serious mismatches that you need to parlay. And then some odds that are a bit closer, but still definite mismatches. So first, let's talk about some of the earlier fights. Talia Nogueira versus Jessica Borga. As far as a straight up bet at minus 260, Nogueira is an excellent pickup. She has all the physical attributes to beat Jessica Borga, and she has the fighting skill and grappling skill as well to dominate Jessica Borga here. Borga's style is to bully her opponents, and she's fighting a girl who can absolutely stand up to the bully here. At minus 260, I like Talia Nogueira. I like her as a straight up bet. But as a parlay piece, I do think she's a good addition. So she will be the first pick of the parlay. And I'm going to call this parlay 1 safe parlay. We're looking at safer parlays for this one. We're going to go 3-fight parlay safe, and then I'll maybe do like a 4-fight safe parlay as well. Nogueira is definitely on the line. I mean, minus 260, those odds are excellent for a girl of her skill set. Now, some lesser known fighters, personally, I don't love to throw money down. Like Cody Law, Nathan Gareb. I do think there's a high chance that Cody Law beats him. Lesser known guy in Law, but he has the skill set to do so. But I'm still not going to put him on the safest parlay because of the lack of fighting experience. To be on those safer parlays, I feel like you need a proven track record. So right now, Talia Nogueira is my first pickup for the safe parlay. Now, we're going to move up a bit, and we're going to look to this fight here. Cat Zigano, Olivia Parker. I'm guaranteeing Cat Zigano wins this fight. So now your odds are minus 199. I feel like that right there for a 2-fight is a near lock. It's very difficult for me to see either of them losing their fights. Now, you're going to need to add more. Unfortunately, the Julia Budd fight was canceled. That would have been probably my first ad of the night to do so. Who's somebody that I can guarantee victory? I will say, as I mentioned, I don't like to bet on the lesser known fighters, but this matchup here with a girl in Tara Graf with a losing record, I feel like Diana Azogaseta is an absolute lock. So now you're looking at minus 148. Are those the best odds ever? No. But that's a safe parlay, and I do think it's a winnable parlay. These three girls should definitely get it done. But let's add a little more risk. So I'm going to bring this now to a 4-fight parlay that we can talk about and maybe even make it a 5-fight parlay by the end of this. After you get to 5-fight parlays, you're starting to get into risky territory. That's true gambling right there, because anything can happen in the cage. Even more than 3 fights is a lot more risky. But if we did add Dalton Rosta, now we're looking at a plus 109. Matchup wise, Dalton Rosta versus Tony Johnson. Tony Johnson is a bare knuckle fighting champion. Dalton Rosta is a hell of a grappler. Striker versus grappler. I'm picking the grappler in this matchup. Granted, gotta note Tony Johnson has high-level experience. He's trained with DC and whatnot. So that's going to be a more riskier pick, but at the minus 400, they're not terrible odds. So right now, you're looking at a plus 109 for those 4. I say this is a fairly safe parlay. At this, I wouldn't say you're in the yellow zone just yet, but if this is green and then the line to yellow, we're definitely getting there. We're definitely getting riskier. So now we're going to have to look through. If we're going to play with a little more risk, I feel like a guy like Cody Law, as I mentioned, if it's a pure safe parlay, don't add somebody with less fight experience most of the time, especially when they're fighting a fellow 2-0 fighter. But here, there's a serious level difference. So now you're looking at plus 142. I'd say this is one of the safest parlays of the night. It's going to be Cody Law, Dalton Rosta, Diana Aversegda, Cat Zigano, and Talia Nogueira. At plus 142, very good odds, 5-fight parlay. We're not going to play around with this parlay anymore. We're going to end it, and we're going to talk about a different one. Plus 142 is not bad, though. So now, you want to take more risk. You want some more reward. You're willing to go out there and risk it all. I'm still going to do probably 3-fight, maybe work up to 5-fight. I feel like if you want lock pick, somebody that definitely gets it done, at Zigano at the minus 1,000 is not a beautiful number, but definitely somebody we can add. But first, we're going to start with Ryan Bader and Lyoto Machida. I think the odds are heavily in the favor of Ryan Bader here as far as when they get in the actual cage. He's much younger than Machida. He's been a champion in Bellator. He has finishing ability. I think he beats Lyoto, especially Lyoto now who's slow. He's not the speedy Lyoto we saw back in the day with the crazy counter-striking ability. Minus 300 there. Now we'll work down. Personally, I like Vanessa Porto as a straight dog bet or a risky parlay pick, but don't put her on your safe parlay. Adam Borics versus Jeremy Kennedy, minus 125 to plus 105. Another one that I'll say save it for your riskier parlay. This fight unfortunately canceled. I'd say Bud was the lock pick, 100%. So now who do we have to put on the parlay to give us some better odds? If we added in Cat Zigano, it's a minus 214. The one issue with bringing in somebody with a minus 1,000. But the level difference of Zingano and Olivia Parker is a guarantee victory here. So at minus 214, those aren't terrible. We need to bring somebody else in. This is a moderately safe parlay, not a super high risk, but it's going to be riskier adding Ryan Bader in there because he's in a legit fight with Lyoto Machida. Cody Law early in the night. That brings you to minus 144 now. Not the greatest odds. It's a 3-fight parlay with no underdogs, but lock favorites, I would say. If you want to add in somebody that really should get it done, odds heavily in his favor, but lesser experience. That's the riskier thing with these guys, lesser experience. If you put in a guy like Jalen Bates at the minus 500, that's going to give you a plus 103. I don't hate this 4-fight parlay, but I don't love it. I'm going to take Jalen Bates off, but you could do it if it's a more riskier one. If you want to play a bit safer, I'll be honest with you, I think that you even just add in Diana again, but still another minus 1,000. It doesn't look good. You got to play a 5-fight parlay now so you can get some plus money here. Who do I like? That's a near lock pick. I like John Duma. And now that brings you to plus 133. So 5-fight parlay at a plus 133. And I think that all these guys get it done. I think it's very unlikely to see these fighters lose. I think the highest risk of defeat on this parlay right here is going to lie in Ryan Bader's hands. I think he is actually the biggest risk of it all. And he's the former champion in Bellator. And he's a minus 300 favorite. He's a very strong confidence pick. Plus 133 for this 5-fight parlay, moderate risk. Now, I'm going to do a high risk parlay for you guys. A fight that, or a parlay rather, that is going to be with fights that could go either way. We're going to add in Ryan Bader from the main card to make sure, you keep some fun on it, but that's high risk. This is high risk, and personally, don't throw the house down on this one. If we add Ryan Bader at the minus 300, I also want to add Jeremy Kennedy at the minus 125. You're already looking at a plus 140. This is a higher risk parlay, so we're going to keep it going, though. Vanessa Porto, now you're looking at plus 488. 3-fight high risk parlay at plus 488. Those are amazing odds, and this is high risk. This is real high risk because there's a solid chance Vanessa Porto loses to Liz Carmouche. Even though I pick her to win the fight, I think she gets a split decision nod. You'll be shitting your pants with this parlay. But if you want to get the return, you want to get the big money, hey, you're playing the risk. That's on you. That's why I listed the safer parlays first. That's a 3-fight parlay that is scary as hell, but it definitely can give you good results. So now I'm going to add a 4th leg to this parlay. Somebody that I feel has a good chance of winning, but isn't going to break the bank. Dalton Rosta now brings you to a plus 635. This is a scary 4-fight parlay. I feel like two of the four rather, are not lock picks. Jeremy Kennedy is in a dogfight, and as is Vanessa Porto. Granted, even Bader is. This parlay could get you killed on the lines, but plus 635, if you don't throw a crazy amount of money down, you definitely can have some fun with this one. I feel like now, who do we want to add? I want to add somebody that I feel like has a high possibility of success, and now we're looking at a plus 918. This right here, I would say, is a high-risk 5-fight parlay with possibility for success. I can't guarantee success on this one, but at plus 918, you throw a little bit down, you can get a lot back. You don't need to put that much money on it. You put $50 down on that, you'd be making a ton of money back. Even $10 is going to make you nearly $100. So it's pretty good odds. They're definitely in your favor here. I like this parlay for a high risk parlay. I'm going to do the highest risk parlay next. A parlay that only I feel like you should play if you have a death with. You want to lose some money. You're playing this parlay right here. We're going to put on Vanessa Porto at the dog at the plus 145. I'm going to add her first. So Porto plus 145. You're already up plus money. So now who else do we bring on? As I said, Jeremy Kennedy, another high risk parlay, but there's another dog who I think has a chance, and that's Cass Bell. If you drop this right here and you bet on Porto, Kennedy, and Bell, it's plus 220. Let me quickly actually take out Kennedy just to see. This 2-fight leg parlay between two of the bigger dogs on the card that have possibility for success is looking at plus 684. This is the highest risk parlay of them all. I'm going to add Jeremy Kennedy back. This is a 3-fight parlay that's going to bring you in serious plus money. Let's see if we can work it up to a 5-fight. Who's somebody else that we want to add that the odds are favorable, but they don't break the bank? Look at that right there, plus 1,854. This last leg of the parlay, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I'll show you two possibilities, but they're definitely going to be up to you. You can add Bader, which is going to bring you to the plus 2,505. Crazy odds. Though that will bring you a ton of money, but this is the highest risk parlay, and the likelihood of success on this one could be less than 50% here. To be 100% honest with you, there's definitely a chance that one of these fighters lose. Let's take Ryan Bader off of the list. Who else could we add? Dalton Rosta at the minus 400. That's a possibility. That still brings you into the plus 2,000 odds. I mean, that's good money. Cody Law, safer pick, plus 2,000 as well. If you want to go safer with this, you could add Diana Aveseda, and that's plus 2,000 still. You want to take maybe even more of a risk here, you could add Naeun Dung. That's going to bring you to the plus 3,000 money. Dung should win, but that's high risk. There's definitely some high risk. This is the highest risk. These past few parlays we just went through are the craziest parlays you can play. Personal recommendation as a guy that's bet on fights, a guy that predicts fights. I talk about fights constantly. I live fighting at this point. High risk parlays have low likelihood of success, but they definitely have possibilities of nailing them. A 5-fight parlay is probably as big as you want to go. If you want to go crazy, I mean, just for fun, we can throw in, like a 7-fight parlay, but I really don't think it's worth it. So this last one, I'm going to call it just for fun. We're just going to go through a lot of my picks and we're going to add them to the lines and see what we can get. So here we have Bader, Kennedy. It's already plus 140. Let's lock in Zingano. Let's lock in Diana. Now we're at plus 190. Still really not that good odds. Add in Tatia Nogueira. Now we're at plus 302. That's good money right now. Let's add in Dalton Rosta. So now we're looking at what? 6 fighters right here at plus 403 odds. If we added in Vanessa Porto, we're looking at plus 1,100. More lock favorites. Definitely a high possibility that a lot of the fighters win. But when you add in that dog, it's serious risk. I would say this parlay being 7-fight, really more dangerous to play, not even worth it. Just for fun, I'm going to add somebody else to the parlay as well. Maybe another plus money. Look at that, plus 3,841. If you pulled off this parlay, if I played it and pulled it off, that's the true Mystic Mac. High risk, high reward. But the likelihood of success, a lot lower. I personally will say, stick with some straight up bets. Stick with maybe a 3 to 4 fight parlay. If you want to throw like $5-10 on a crazy parlay and like play the lotto with it, go for it. Don't throw the bank on a crazy parlay. You see the plus money, you start getting greedy. It's fighting. This is not, guarantees. There's no guarantees in fighting. The best fighter in the world can get caught and put to sleep. We've seen massive upsets in the sport before. It can definitely happen. Respect the sport. Don't go broke. Have some fun with it. This was the first ever Bellator bets to make video and best parlays to play, the full card betting breakdown. I'm happy you guys got to see it. I hope you all enjoy. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you're interested in this series, I'll keep it coming and I'll even start doing it for the UFC as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also guys, follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and I will see you all in the next video.